Hello and welcome back to another episode on the channel by me, TheWiseJames. I haven't done a reaction to Simp Saver Sam in a while, so I'm just going to do a reaction video to Sam because his videos always make me feel better about myself. Just watch these people. Literally, just watch these people and how they behave, and you also will feel better about yourself.
How would you explain to them why you should have an assault rifle?
What is an assault rifle?
Big gun that...
An assault rifle would be a gun used to assault, to attack. AK-47, M3, AK-47U, M15s. Basically, assault rifles are automatic guns that have various settings, typically used in an assault situation. So they're not used for defensive. They're not used, like, to hold your ground. They're used to take ground. But I'm not a gun expert.
You shouldn't have.
What is the definition of an assault rifle? If you're gonna tell me I don't need something, you better have the definition.
Well, is that how it works?
What is an assault rifle?
So, I'm being honest. I don't know what the exact
Well, let's
dictionary
talk.
definition.
Let's talk about what
No.
yourself.
Don't put it on your fucking YouTube channel.
We will check it out at Liberty Hangout.
Goes,
Oh, she was so nice. She was so nice until it was clear she didn't know what she was talking about. Then she started insulting them. I have this experience with people every day on the internet, every single day. People think they know what they're talking about, and they don't. Unfortunately, some people have literally no clue, and they go around thinking they're fucking Einstein. And I know, because I am the same.
crazy at stupid conservative girl.
That's a good.
You go to university, college, you pay a lot of money for an education, and you can't even say the thing you're really unhappy about, you can't even define it. Most of us knew what an AR was from flipping playing Call of Duty back in the day.
I would give myself a
Yeah, it's probably something that fires over a certain amount of rounds at a certain rate. I don't know. Let's see what Google says. Definition of an assault rifle. Google says a selected fire rifle, meaning it can be fired in fully automatic, semi-automatic, or burst mode. Oh, there you go. You learn something new every day. I would have thought it was a rifle that could be used in attack situations. It was most ideal for taking ground and taking assets or buildings. So it's called an assault rifle because it has automatic, semi-automatic, or burst mode, or single fire modes, right? Huh? Who knew?
a realistic 6.5.
I thought she was going to say 10.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, I would give myself a 6.5, and Andrew would probably laugh at that as well. So, fair.
Okay.
Pull yourself together, Andrew.
Oh wait, I wasn't muted? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I would say that she's probably higher in the pecking order on human looks than Andrew.
Oh,
So for him to laugh at her
oh wait,
for her
I
looks
wasn't
is,
muted? I'm sorry.
yeah, dude, we could hear.
I'm sure Andrew doesn't mind being laughed at for his looks though. He just wouldn't care, you know. He wouldn't care. He's had it his whole life. So
We heard that, Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, man.
We can see you too.
I was laughing at something my chat said.
I think 6.5 is a bit generous, but I honestly thought she was going to say 10. Because I can't tell you how many of these clips I've seen where girls will say, yep, I'm a 10, I am the definition of perfection. Make it make sense.
I was reading about the 4B movement and hearing all these stories about how women just like. I was reading
What?
about the 4B movement and hearing all
4K.
these stories about how women just like their lives have improved so much since cutting out men entirely.
I think so.
Cutting out men entirely. How did you do that? Did you go to a shop and fill out a form? There's no world in which these women have cut men out entirely. There's only, in their mind, they think they've cut men off. Right? You're living in a house built by men. When something goes wrong, you call a man for help. If you're in trouble, you ring a man for help. When you need food ordered, I bet you ring a man and get a man to come deliver it for you. There's no world where you live without a man. I mean, there are places in the world and women who live perfectly fine without men, and very rarely do they need a man for anything. But you ain't one of them. I can tell you that right now.
And I was like, maybe I should do this. Like test it out. See how it feels. But then I got real honest with myself and I was like, if I did this, if I cut out men completely out of my life, no dating, no sex, no marriage, no nothing. I know deep down I'd be doing it in the hopes of meeting a guy when I least expect it.
I mean, just make that make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It literally does not make sense. That's the female mind for you, boys. She's gonna exclude all men, and shut up, TV. She's gonna block out all men for dating and relationships and things, in the hope of finding the right man for a dating and a relationship. She does realise that, the right guy is going to come along and she's going to be like, oh, sorry, no, I'm excluding men right now. So, sorry. And then, that was the guy she was looking for. How thick are some women? I'm sorry, some of you women, not all of you, some of you women just can't think with logic. You let your emotions control you. And I'm not a woman, so I can't understand, but in what planet did you think it was normal to come on TikTok and say, I'm going to exclude all men for dating and relationships in the hope, secretly, I would honestly find a man? That's like me saying, I'm going to try and avoid all ice cream in the hope that one day I find some ice cream. I mean, are you serious? Are you fucking serious?
You're going to do a movement which you don't really believe in the hopes that you'll meet this horrible man anyway. I wish I had as much free time as these people, because the stuff they be thinking and doing is just mind-blowing. And one thing's common with this 4B movement, they've all got cats and Netflix subscriptions.
Oh, is it called 4B? Is that what it's called? Let's have a look. Let's see what Google says about the 4B movement. Let's have a look, people. Here are these phrases people come up with that I've got to research to fucking find out what they're talking about. Fucking 4B movement. Let's have a look. The 4B movement is a South Korean-born feminist movement advocating for birth to abstain from 4 things: marriage, dating, sex, and childbirth with men. But in South Korea, the women don't get treated equally. They're essentially a concubine with less rights. So, I don't know, South Korea is a pretty progressive Asian country compared to most Asian countries. I don't think the women would be treated much worse than the men, to be honest. But I do believe in Korea, the men there would be very, very sexist and difficult to deal with. Because let's be honest, I've not met many tall Koreans. I'm not saying there isn't any, but I haven't met many tall Koreans. Okay, so one thing that all men have in common, regardless of your race, is small man syndrome. The smaller the man, usually the angrier and feistier he is, because he wants to show how big and tough he is as a man, even though every other man on the planet's twice the size of him. He wants to go around punching people to show how big he is. It's called small man syndrome. So I can imagine all these small Asian men in Korea are quite unbearable, to be honest. I can imagine they're quite unbearable, and it's all right. Tell them Korean girls to go to America. See, you got all these Americans who are looking for foreign wives, and all these foreign women who don't want men from their own country. So why don't you just hook up with Americans who you can treat like a bank account? Is that what you want? Treat a man like a bank account, like the Americans do. The fact of the matter is, lasses, if you want to treat a man like a bank account, he's going to treat you like you're his cook, cleaner, and escort. That's what's going to happen. If you're treating a man as your protector, bank account, and tool, would be the same as a man treating a woman as his, those three things.
Descriptions, isn't they?
Concerns have you had about speaking out?
That I'm gonna be murdered. One day I'm gonna be walking down the street and...
One thing I don't think's right is that the TV companies and the media companies hijacking these parents' abuse of their children and trying to make out that it's their victims, that the kid's a victim. The kid's a victim from the parent, right? If a parent convinces their child to be an extreme Islamic terrorist and that person goes and kills 100 people, the child is to blame, but also so is the parent. The programmer, the person who programmed them is responsible. No 10-year-old is trans. No child is trans, right? There's no such thing as a trans child. There is no such thing. No such thing. The closest thing to a trans child would be a hermaphrodite. And they would have the choice of being male or female, or they would have a predominant gene over the other, right? There is no trans as child. The only way you get a trans child is if an adult has convinced the child that they were born in the wrong body and that they need to change gender. And the reason some adults sadly do this is because they have no personality, they have no friends, and they are evil, sick human beings who think it's okay to mentally torture and abuse children. That's what they do. And then they get these kids to think they're trans and go round and use them as tools for attention. Okay? They don't care about their kids' feelings. They've convinced their kid something their kid never believed, made them believe it, so they could go around and use that for their own benefit. Do you all really think that if society hadn't had this recent trans movement over the last 10 years, do you really think if that hadn't been the case, that we would tolerate someone sitting here on TV telling us that they convinced their child they're trans and stuff like this? Do you think we would tolerate that? No. They'd be in fucking prison. They would literally be in prison for child abuse. I'm not being rude. That might be a girl. But...
be walking down the street and...
I can't tell, but... I can't tell. Because the way they're talking is that they're trying to pretend to be something they're not. Like, if they're talking naturally, I would know. And the fact of the matter is, right, the trans community never stand up for anyone else. Like, you've got schizophrenics and people with bipolar and autism being tortured in asylums and mental health wards all across the world. And they're worried about someone misgendering them. Fuck off. You don't know what real problems are, you cunts.
somebody's gonna come up and shoot me or something.
That's a really scary thing to be worrying about at 10 years old.
10-year-olds also worry about the government coming, taking them away from their parents and doing science experiments on them and calling it medical treatment, but you lot don't care. You lot don't care. You care about how this 10-year-old boy or girl wants to be a different gender. You don't care about, the children being tortured. Actually tortured by your taxes. Funded by your taxes. No, you don't care. These are all a bunch of morally corrupt idiots.
Yeah, that should not be,
You got... Okay. You just need to understand that there is a ladder to morals. There's a ladder. So you've got, feelings and then facts, right? So you've got lots of people who feel, they don't get treated right, but they go around, they get paid equally, they're treated under the same laws, people just don't agree with their ideology. That's the case, right? Whereas, factually, we have actual people with autism and bipolar and schizophrenia being tortured all over the world, and they call it medical treatment. And, the lobotomies, forced electrotherapy, forced injections. But every day, all I hear is trans this and trans that, trans this and trans that. Who gives a fuck, man? You trans people don't give a fuck about anyone but yourselves. You don't give a fuck about anyone but yourself. I have never met a trans person who wasn't selfish. To be honest, I've never met one. They don't care about anyone but themselves. I know there's probably one that's out there. There will be a person out there who's trans, who's a lovely human being. But you don't say anything to people on the internet. You don't represent the trans community. The people who represent the trans community don't ever care about anyone else. They care about what they believe and what they think. Nobody else. I've fought for many people my entire life. And nobody, when it came to it, fought for me. So fuck the lot of you. I don't agree with this trans shit. I don't agree with it. I think if an adult wants to change gender after the age of 18 or 21, 21's probably the right way, then that's their choice. The same as if I want to make myself look like a dolphin and pretend I'm a dolphin, there's nothing you lot can do. There's nothing you lot can do. So that's fine if an adult wants to do these things. But when you're doing this to a child, I think what you're doing is torturing them mentally and emotionally, and you're doing more damage to these children for the rest of their life than if they had been seriously abused sexually. You're doing more damage teaching a child to be trans than a rapist. I'm serious. I'm fucking serious.
Worry.
Michelle, what's going through your mind as you hear your daughter say this?
Isn't that a son, though? Like, boy movements, boys, that's a boy's legs crossing, like, boy's hair made to look like a girl's. That's a boy, it's not a girl, that's a boy. Girls don't sit like that. That's a boy's way of sitting to protect his bollocks.
It's hard to hear her say that. And
she's the one who's convinced him of this bullshit for attention. Probably because the father left because of her bullshit. So she pulled this shit to try and get back at him. I wonder how many mothers made their child trans just to piss off the dad. I wonder. I fucking wonder.
she asked me three questions after she heard who won the election. Are we gonna have to move? Are they gonna take me away from you? And am I not gonna be able to get my medicine?
What they're doing to this boy is torture. That mother should have the child taken off her. I'm sorry. Like that, it's ridiculous. That's child abuse. How can you just let this happen to that poor child? That poor child is going to grow up for the rest of their life with this serious psychological damage and emotional damage caused by her need for attention. Yous are all horrible human beings, allowing these children to be tortured by evil people. Yous are disgusting, really. Fucking disgusting. Allowing this to happen to kids. Absolute disgusting.
It's frightening.
Oh, now he tries to act like a girl. Wasn't before. Now, it was sit like a boy before. Now tries to act like a girl.
We've seen Republicans put
That is behaviour that has been beaten into him, I bet you.
a lot of money and energy into transgender issues. More than $200 million were spent this election cycle in anti-trans ads. What does that feel like to have so much attention by all these politicians on your identity?
It makes me feel like they think we're puppets that they can play with.
Your parents made you puppets. Not the government. Your parents made you a puppet. You're your parents' puppet and they're using you to get what they want. The thing is, we all trust our parents, right? Until one day we're old enough to realise, actually, some parents aren't good people. Some parents are selfish people. Some parents aren't good people and good parents. So, unfortunately, as a 10-year-old, you're never going to believe that. You're never going to believe that your parent is using you to get something they want. You would never believe that.
And it's just so wrong.
This stuff, man, it just gets to me. It does. Because we know...
It's sick what they're doing to these kids. Absolutely sick. Just let these children be children, you evil monsters. You absolute evil monsters.
Those kids didn't come up with that. They didn't come up with those ideas. They were pushed on them by those flipping parents, if you can call them parents. And
they're not parents.
And that's a fact. They didn't wake up one day and go, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Those parents pushed those kids into that.
Yep.
That's what just angers me about it all. If anyone needs their hard drives checked, it's these lot. I mean, look at this mum here. I mean, she's got the grade A look. She's got the day all.
She looks like she's walked straight out of a feminist rally. You can tell she has a negative relationship with the father of that child, just from the way she dresses and the way she appears. You can guarantee she pretends these days to be a lesbian because it's too painful to try and deal with men because the one man she wanted didn't want her. I fucking bet you, boys. I bet you any fucking money. Bet you. And this is her harming the child to get back at him because he didn't want her because of the way she behaved. Go figure.
Look the same. When I release my merch with they all look the same on it, I'm going to send her a flipping t-shirt.
A woman who trains the hardest versus a man who trains the hardest.
Well, then it would depend how much you're born with natural talent in it. And that's dependent on every person, not gender.
Who currently...
She's got that dumb feminist look. Hang on, let me try and replicate it.
holds the world record for...
Don't know.
If I told you it was a man.
Then on that standpoint, then he was that during that moment.
You do realize that the world record holder for the women's 100-meter sprint, she wouldn't even qualify to compete with the men. You understand this, right?
I don't watch running.
But so I've just...
I don't watch running.
Presented to you with a fact.
I think that partially has to do with expectations.
I think that partially has to do with expectations.
All throughout
What?
time,
Sorry?
all
Expectations?
throughout time. Let's take gymnastics for an example. Gymnastics used to be a much simpler sport than it is today. But as sports develop,
Running, point A, point B,
I'm
straight
getting
line, as fast as you can. What?
I'm getting there.
No, you weren't getting there. You were trying to avoid it, dear. And you thought that we couldn't see that. Some women don't know that you lot aren't stupid. So obviously there are stupid men out there who, you know, you can trick and lie in front of their face and they won't know, sure. But there's other men who aren't stupid. And we know when you deflect. We know when you change the goalpost. And you literally changed the goalpost here. What you said was, like, you changed the goalpost from running. Brian's asking you about running and you tried to change it to gymnastics. So then Brian brings it back to running and then you say, I'm getting there. You were never getting there. Stop gaslighting him.
As a man who trains the hardest.
Well, then it would depend how much you're born with natural talent in it. And that's dependent on every person, not gender.
Who currently holds the world record for...
Don't know.
If I told you it was a man.
Then on that standpoint, then he was that during that moment.
You do realize that the world record holder for the women's 100-meter sprint, she wouldn't even qualify to compete with the men. You understand this, right?
I don't watch running.
But so I've just presented to you with a fact.
I think that partially has to do with expectations. All throughout
What?
time.
Sorry?
All throughout time.
Imagine thinking men were the best sprinters and runners in the world because of expectations. No, dear. No, dear. Men are the best runners in the world. In fact, we're the best. We're the most efficient running animal on the planet. Because we used to hunt animals long distance. We run them down. We'd fucking run them down until they collapsed from exhaustion. And you know the only other animal that can do that with us and keep up? A wolf. And who's man's best friend? A dog. And what was a wolf? A dog. So obviously wolves and us would chase stuff together sometimes. And we formed this friendship, you see. Men are the best long-distance runners because we are built to hunt. I don't think you women understand this. Some of you modern-day feminists, you've been born into this peaceful digital world where you're the victim, not some fucking piece of meat thrown to a lion to come attack you so the rest of the tribe can eat. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't understand anything.
Let's take gymnastics for an example. Gymnastics used to be a much simpler sport than it is today. But as sports develop...
Running.
I don't think gymnastics has ever been simple. I've seen, like, some of the videos or pictures and stuff of fairs from, like, 100 years ago. And you've got, like, people doing trapezes 100 feet in the air. You've got, like, people swinging from rope to rope 100 feet in the air. Gymnastics has never been simple or easy. Gymnastics has always been a very difficult skill, and anyone who is good at gymnastics deserves a lot of respect, okay?
Point A, point B, straight line, as fast as you can. What?
I'm getting there.
The expectation.
Liar.
Developed to this very...
I think we all could take one look at that girl and we knew she was going to say something along the line.
I just knew from this look. Like, that's the face I make when I'm speechless. So if I see someone talking like that every time they're asked something, it means they live their whole life as clueless.
Because of what she was saying. The thing is, there's a lot of women in that field who say, yeah, men are better, that's why we're...
See that?
She was saying. The thing is, there's a lot of women in that field who say, yeah, men are better, that's why we're separate. They perform better at those things and they're fine with it. There's things women do better. We're fine with it. But it's these people who have always got a problem with facts.
This is exactly what they don't understand. They keep saying, oh, the exemptions. Doctors are not going to perform any procedure if they're going to end up in jail for it.
What?
Their daughters are going to die alongside ours.
You really think a doctor is going to let their child die just because some law says they can't do a certain operation? No. The doctor would save their child and go to prison. Because that's what you do as a parent, alright? You do whatever it takes to save your child. Whatever it fucking takes. Whatever it takes. That's a parent. Alright? Shut up. You don't know what a parent is. Fatty.
I'm worried about slavery. You see, Donald Trump has promised to deport all of these immigrants, and that's just a physical impossibility by way of, like, math and...
Do you know why Donald Trump could never deport all these immigrants? Because Donald Trump himself is an immigrant, and so are you, and every other white American. Like, I'm sick of this debate in America about immigrants when all the white people are the immigrants. You do realise the country of America, the USA, is literally what? 300 years old nearly? 250 years old, we'll say, right? There's a wall called Hadrian's Wall, not far from my house. It's like nearly 1,000 years old. How old is Hadrian's Wall? Let's check, actually. How old is Hadrian's Wall? How old is Hadrian's Wall? Okay, so Hadrian's Wall is 1,900 years old, right? That wall's near my house. Your country in America isn't even 250 years old. There's stuff lying around the street here older than your fucking country. I'm serious, America. You white people, Donald Trump, and all the white people in America are the immigrants. So the only way to get rid of all the immigrants in America would be to get rid of all the white people. Because you fuckers are the immigrants. You just immigrated from Europe and took other people's land, and now you're trying to kick out anyone who comes into that land and claiming they're immigrants. No. Donald Trump's an immigrant. You, blondie, or redhead, you're a fucking immigrant. You know, us in Europe, we aren't immigrants. This is our homeland. This is your homeland. That's one thing Americans don't understand when they slag off Europe. It's your homeland. You're slagging off your home, right? All you Americans come from Europe. Do you understand that? You're either German or Italian or Irish or English, Welsh maybe, fucking French, Spanish. All of you come from Europe. You are immigrants in America. So the fact that all you lot are kicking off about immigrants when you're fucking immigrants, Donald Trump is literally an immigrant himself. His family is from Britain, right? Well, his mother is. Father's from New York. Like, his father was an immigrant. He is an immigrant. You lot are immigrants. Us lot in Britain, right? This is our homeland. This is our fucking homeland. But you lot in America, that's not your home. You took another people's home and claim it as your own, and now are trying to kick out everyone you don't want there. But you weren't wanted there. You are not wanted there. And you took it from other people, the Native Americans. That's who are, the Native Americans are the only people in America who aren't immigrants. Anyone who's white in America, you're a migrant. You're an illegal immigrant. That's what you are, all right? Get over it.
And that's just a physical impossibility by way of like math and moving humans. But you know what he could do? He could make being here illegally an offense that you can incarcerate one over. And then under the 13th Amendment, he could make them work for free.
Oh, so he wants to make anyone who illegally enters the country a slave. Even though there's 600 million of you who entered that country illegally, including the person who's making this video. She was never there legally. I don't think you Americans understand. It's not your country. It's not your land. It's not your land. It's the Native Americans. It's the Cherokee people. It's their land. It's not your fucking land. I don't care what yous have done over the last 250 years. The Native American people have lived there for 10 to 100,000 years. You can't come in for the last 250 years, claim it's yours, and try and kick everyone out. It's not going to work. It's just... You lot are the immigrants. I'm sorry. Yous are. Yous need to come home to Europe and stop fucking up the rest of the world, making us all look bad here. Because white people are sick of you lot making us look dumb, alright? Yous are fucking dumb. Yous are a bunch of immigrants in America kicking off about migrants. When you lot, the white people, are the fucking immigrants.
So yeah, I'm worried about slavery.
You got to be kidding me. You've got to be joking me. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Any last words? You've been fantastic. I'll see you again never.
Here it goes. Oh my god.
Oh, this is amazing.
This is so cool.
This is one of those deeply satisfying video points.
Oh yes. Just whoosh. That is yours.
It's like confetti. The worst confetti ever.
Do you want to keep this?
I kind of do.
Of course. Okay. So I anticipated that.
I want to take it home and show it to my wife. She's aware that this is happening and she's super excited. She was like, oh babe, you're going to look so good with a buzzed head.
It looks like a tub of paint fell on her head. Wow. Wow. Imagine we've gotten to this point in life where you can leave the house thinking something looks good and spend your whole day believing it is looking good because everyone looked at you. Because some people don't understand the difference between good attention and bad attention. They don't understand that people looking at you because you've got mayonnaise on your face is not good. They think they're looking at them because their face is pretty, not because there's mayonnaise on it, and that's good. And then they wipe the mayonnaise away and never think, oh, they were looking at the mayonnaise, not me. So people will look at this person's hair and give them attention, and because they get attention, they'll like it.
Thank God we got Monday.com.
Attention-seeking whores, man. Bunch of attention-seeking whores. Who is?
Right now, in Australia.
You're still supporting the murder, that's the thing.
I really don't think... I don't think so.
I think you'll get dense.
You think I'm dense?
Yeah.
You're looking pretty dense yourself, I'm sorry to say.
That was a fat joke and a clever one at that. A very clever one.
But,
Whoa. Ooh, that's a violent assault by a woman, that is. She called him dense. He called her dense. And then a woman violently attacked him for doing exactly what the other woman did. I'm guessing it was her daughter.
Yeah.
right now, in Australia.
But you're still supporting the murder. That's the
I really don't
Here
think-
comes the violent assault.
I don't think so.
I think you're a bit dense.
You think I'm dense?
Yeah.
You're looking pretty dense yourself, I'm sorry to say. But,
Whoa. See, there's a violent female abuser who thinks it's okay to hit men. So if a man went around hitting a woman, so if he had punched her in the face because she said he was dense, would that be alright? So how was it alright for her to hit him for calling her dense? I mean, she insulted his intelligence, so he insulted her weight. I mean, I think that's fair game. I think that's fair game. I don't think that's... If she was disabled and had a medical problem as to why she was fat, like diabetes and things, then it's still not unfair. It's only unfair if you make fun of the disability. Like, ha, you've got diabetes. That would be wrong. But if you say, ha, you're fat, and then they go, oh, well, I've got diabetes. Well, you're still fat. Ha, you're fat. It doesn't change anything. But you can't laugh at the person because of diabetes. That's wrong. You don't laugh at people because of medical problems. But if someone's fat, you can fucking laugh at them. Lose some weight. Lose some fucking weight. But hitting someone for saying that a fat person is fat, she needs to be in jail. This little cretinous lesbian-looking creature here with a Harry Potter haircut needs to be in jail for what she's just done here.
Say my friend.
get the fuck out of here. Fatty, get the fuck off.
They smacked him, to be fair.
It's called congratulations. You played yourself.
I'm glad he got his equal rights out.
Sorry, but that did make me laugh. She literally smacked him, and then she said, "Don't fat shame my friend." Oh, I don't know what they thought was going to happen, and they quickly regretted that when they realised that guy was going to fight back. And of course,
Well, yeah, as soon as you lay your hands on someone in the public like this, you're legally allowed to defend yourself. So when that woman punched him, he's then legally allowed to hit her with reasonable force. Reasonable force being the key word here, lad. Right? So all you have to do is give him a good old slap. Just a big bitch. Like, if a woman like that hits you, then just fucking...
the White Knights are out there to save him, saying this guy is an aggressive guy.
You're allowed to defend yourself, people. So if a person attacks you, you can attack them back. That's how it works. There's no law in nature that says a lion's allowed to attack the coyote and the coyote can't defend itself, or the lion's allowed to attack the cheetah or the gazelle, but they're not allowed to fight back. That's not how the law of the jungle works, baby. The law of the jungle is, if you want to try and take me on, I'm going to take you on. Alright? That's the fucking law of the jungle. You know, if an animal attacks you, the animal can be attacked. That's the law of the jungle.
He shouldn't have done that. It's like these people don't see the fact that they're...
She's holding it here, right here. So I think... I mean, if you're looking at it from the angle, he's obviously holding something here, and he just whacked her. Fucking big bitch slap right across the fucking head. Shut up, bitch! Bam! And obviously she's punched him, so to be honest, she gets everything she deserves. I don't think that's wrong. The friend is to blame. The friend stood there, allowed him to punch her to punch a man, and then hit her back and did nothing, all because of she called him dense. Basically, there are a lot of women who cause trouble for themselves because they treat men like shit and then think they can get away with it. And then they play the victim.
Him. Do people not watch that part, or is it just me? Because I don't want to see anyone getting hit, but if you're going to hit someone and...
I don't want to see anyone getting hit. But anyone who does hit other people, yeah, I want to see you get hit back. See me? I like equality. And equality means if you hit a man, he hits you back. That's equality, baby. That is equality.
not expect anything back. You live in a different world, clearly.
The more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
Legal doesn't mean ethical. So whether you're saying that your ancestors came here and legally committed genocide, or that they came later and immigrated legally according to American laws, this is a great time to talk about how incredibly and explicitly racist legal immigration in America has traditionally been. And why, for hundreds of years, while your family could immigrate to the United States, mine could not legally immigrate here until 1965. There's a few laws we're going to talk about. The Naturalization Act of 1790, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, the Immigration Act of 1917, the Immigration Act of 1924, and finally, the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. The Naturalization Act of 1790 stated that only white Americans could be naturalized into citizens. That is the
racist
foundation of all immigration in the United States.
So we all know that America is founded on racism. Like this isn't new knowledge to us. The USA was literally built on slavery, the slavery of black Africans by European illegal migrants. Like all the white people in America are illegal migrants who essentially use slavery to build a country. And some of those slaves were the native people of the country they took the land from. And now they go around the world pretending they're the heroes and best country of the world. Hoo-hoo, America! Hoo-hoo, we're number one! Hoo-hoo. Yeah, you're not. You're not. Britain's the best inventors in the world. The Chinese the best at tech. Fucking the Russians are the best at energy. The Americans, you aren't really best at anything. You're the best at spending a shitload of money to try and be number one at something. And then never being number one. Like, a lot of the time. There's once you guys teamed up with France to try and beat us in war. So we invented metal ships and beat the fuck out of both of you. There's once you thought that your air defense system in America was so good that no one in the world could get past it. And us, being the British, was like, well, actually, we can see a flaw. And we'll show you with a simulated nuclear bomb. So we did a little training test run and flew over your signals range and was able to simulate a nuclear bomb drop. And then, a few years later or the next year, you guys made your improvements and says, don't worry, we fixed it this time. You won't be able to do it this time because, we are allies. We try and help you guys. So if someone could drop a nuke on you, we'll tell you so you can fix it, right? We're nice guys. Anyway, so the next time we did it, we had made a plane that went even higher. And so it went over your air defense system, and we simulated a nuclear bomb detonation. There's nothing you could have done if Britain had wanted to drop 2 nuclear bombs on your country. There was nothing you could have done to stop us. Nothing. And we wanted to show you that, because sometimes you in America, you get this ego about you, where you think you're number one, you're undefeatable, nothing can beat you or challenge you. Yet you've got Epstein's best pal as prime minister, as president, who's just allowed the Russian leader Putin, who's a warmonger, to have a meeting with him and talks about him like he's his idol. Like the Russians have installed a puppet leader in America, but I can't really say much because the Americans are trying to install a puppet leader in Britain with Nigel Farage. So Nigel Farage will technically be a Russian puppet through America, but the real puppet masters would be Russia. Like, you wouldn't believe it. You just wouldn't believe it, but yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. America is literally built on racism. The entire country built on racism.
That ultimately only white people could be citizens. The first Immigration Act to actually bar anyone else from coming was the Chinese Exclusion Act, which, as you can guess, banned Chinese people from immigrating to the United States.
So how come white people were allowed to immigrate to other people's lands? It's so crazy this. They created a law after they took over black people's lands, Native American people's lands, to say that only white people could come here, even though it wasn't white people's land. Unbelievable, really, that is. Unbelievable. You awful, evil humans that you are.
Now, the Immigration Acts of 1917 and 1924 are really important. The The 1917 Act created an Asiatic Barred Zone, which basically said that anyone from any of these countries could not immigrate to the US. Now, 1924, things get really interesting. And a quota system per country is created. And this quota system is based off of previous census data. Here's an old New York Times article talking about the new act. It says, effect of new immigration legislation described by Senate sponsor of the bill is to preserve racial type as it exists here today. And through these quotas, Germany could have 67,000 immigrants a year, Italy 42,000, Russia...
Okay. European. All European countries.
Russia, 24,000. But the entirety of Asia got 1,066 visas, and the entirety of Africa, the continent, got 122 visas. So basically, to legally immigrate into the United States until 1965,
you had to be white.
You just had to be white.
European white.
We can go by all this, and we know a lot of those numbers that are presented to the public about immigration and whatnot. They're not the actual figures. They're not going to present the real numbers. But anyway, second to that, these people advocate for this, and they say it's the white man that, you know, is the problem. So when people be like, okay, well, if you want to help the problem, you know, we can get some illegal immigrants in your house. You can house them, feed them, clothe them.
Oh dear.
They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. So I would suggest making other TikToks, probably. Because everything you're saying just sounds like a load of nonsense to me.
They're dropping like flies. I lost one of my clients today who clearly was a Trump supporter.
People still...
Maybe it's because your eyebrows are trying to running away from your face. Right? If your eyebrows don't want to be near your face, why would anyone else?
Still going on about this.
And they sent me a message. They never canceled their appointment. They don't have the courage to cancel their appointment. And it's just fucking rude. But anyway, she messaged me after I had messaged her, like, hey, I had you down at 3, just making sure you're on your way. I'm making sure you're okay. And she wrote back, Dear Tiffany, spelled my name wrong. I am so sorry that this last election has upset you so much as to elicit the hateful public post you made on TikTok. Not once, but twice. I have really thought highly about you, and your posts have broken my heart. Since you have made it clear how you feel about anyone who doesn't share your opinion.
Yeah, she's completely right. I agree. You know, she's not saying who you voted for is wrong and all that. It's just the fact that if anyone has a different opinion to these lot, they spread hate and all this stuff, and it's just not a good look, is it? People can...
Yeah, see, I get really annoyed because people mistake me for being like her, where they think I can't stand anyone who doesn't agree with me, and quite the opposite, really. I latch on. I literally latch on to anyone who thinks differently to me. And anyone who thinks the same as me, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I like people having a different opinion. So people will put me in the same group as her and think I just want people who agree with me. And that's not true at all. Like, I can't stand it when everyone agrees with me. I can't stand it. I learn nothing. Why would I want everyone to agree with me?
Have different opinions. And at the end of the day, if someone's paying you for a service, who cares what their political opinion is? You know, and she probably saw that.
I feel you have left no opinion but...
I've had lots of friends in my life who I haven't agreed with what they believe. I've had friends who are from the army who were racists, but they were only racist because some of their friends died from warfare against other races, right? So I could understand their racism in a way. I didn't agree with it, but I could understand it at least, right? I've had friends who were different. I've still got friends who are different political persuasions. I've got friends who are Tory supporters, and you all know how much I fucking hate the Tories, and I struggle to call them friends. I struggle. But they are friends, you know, we talk, we have a laugh. I don't wish them any harm. I wish them well in life. I just don't agree with their political views. Then I've also got loads of people on my Facebook whose religions I don't agree with. There's Muslims on my Facebook who I don't agree that Islam's fully correct. I don't think anyone can confirm that Muhammad knew what was written in the Quran because he was illiterate. So the people who wrote it for him could have just written anything they wanted, and claim Muhammad said that, and he didn't. They could have just lied. I'm not saying they did, but they could have. It's possible. I've got friends who are Christians, and I think Christianity has lost its way. It's just the Romans' lies about the man they killed, rather than what Jesus himself preached and believed, which was Judaism, by the way. So, although I don't agree with these people and their beliefs, right, I would still fix their computers for them. I would still buy them a pint. I'd still have a laugh with them. I would just try and avoid certain subjects. Otherwise, we'd have an argument or a debate, and I would rather just enjoy life with them. There's no need to exclude them from activities because of their political or religious views. It just means I have to be cautious about certain things I said. Like, I can't draw a picture of Muhammad and put him online because you'd get killed. It's not allowed in Islam. People get killed for that. But I could draw a picture of Jesus, lubing up a cross, right? And Christians would hate it, but I wouldn't get killed for it. But I wouldn't do these things because I have, friends of these persuasions. I've also got friends who are atheists who think everything came from nothing, and that's more ridiculous than the idea of God. The idea of everything coming from nothing breaks the third law of thermoaerodynamics and the basic essence of chemistry and all physics. It literally breaks science. There is no scientific value in something coming from nothing. There's none. There's no science in that. So when an atheist tells me that, they don't understand atheism. Atheism's the lack of belief in a god or a deity. It's not the belief that everything came from nothing, as some of them claim. They're honestly idiots, some of these atheists. Fucking idiots.
For me to move on, I wish you the best, and I am terribly sorry.
What's wrong with that?
I think that was a really polite letter. If you as a business got a letter like that from your customer, that sounds like a customer who really cared about you, really wanted you to do well, was even trying to help you, but they could no longer try and continue because of the way you've treated other people due to their political beliefs. That seems fair to me. I mean, I would love to have a customer like that. Someone who was willing to tell me the errors of my ways so that I could correct it and be better. I mean, that's what you want. You want people like that who are going to do it nicely. She was nice about it. She wasn't horrible. She tried to help you.
Yeah. Just continuing to lose clients, and I would rather go work at Chipotle, and I was not.
You might have to at this rate.
Lying when I said that I was headed to my Chipotle interview because I.
What's wrong with working at Chipotle?
There's nothing wrong with working at Chipotle. There's nothing wrong with working in these places. A job is a good job, regardless if it's fucking annoying as fuck. I've worked at KFC. I've worked in a sandwich shop. I've worked in a clothes shop, right? I've worked behind a bar. There's nothing wrong with all these jobs. You do what you have to do to get by, all right?
Did apply to Chipotle because I'm not going to ask for a handout, and it's been a rough year. I'm a single mom, and my ex-husband does help me out a lot during this time.
Wonder why she's single.
Because I refuse to ask for help. But I would rather go and do what I need to do and work at Chipotle after my 22-year career in this industry and refuse to let people feel comfortable in my space to support racism, homophobia, and misogyny and rape.
What?
What?
I would rather go work there than have people.
Who's supporting them?
People feel comfortable in my space with that and that mentality. So, again, I'm reaping what I sow. I am suffering the consequences of my own actions.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Stand by what I said. I absolutely stand by what I said. And so if you see me working at Chipotle as a business
No tip.
owner and a salon owner of 22 years. Say hi. Be kind, because this life is fucking hard.
Yes, life is very hard. That is very true, you know. Life is very hard. And so you get to a point, right, and you've got to understand that life doesn't get any easier. It's going to continue to be hard, and sometimes it's going to get harder. So you might as well make the best of it. You might as well have a few laughs, have a few smiles, and just enjoy the ride. Because it's better to laugh than cry. And if you're not enjoying it, what are you doing? You might as well make the best of it. So when you fall over and fall flat on your face, and everyone around you starts laughing, instead of getting up and shouting at them, laugh with them, laugh at yourself, laugh at your own stupidity, enjoy the humour and get on with it. And then a week later when someone says, haha, do you remember when you fell on your face a week ago? You say, oh, like that time I fell on your ma, or something like that. You can have a laugh with things, you can have a joke. Just don't take it so far that it hurts someone. Alright?
Oh no, if it isn't the consequences of my actions. Strikes again, done it. If you're gonna, as a business owner and people are coming to you for services, but on your accounts you're gonna push political stuff, especially labeling people the things she did, of course people aren't gonna like it and they're not gonna wanna go to her. If she's publicly belittling other people who don't have the same opinion as her, people are still going on about this? People really need to just move on, man.
I don't care about Trump's political views. I care that he's on the Epstein list.
What a donut.
I hate to break it to you boys, but if she sleeps with you on the first date, that is not a good sign. She does
I agree.
not want something long term with you. You're maybe just trying to get over someone, fun night, she finds you attractive. If she waits and makes you wait, she wants to marry you.
No. It's not she makes you wait and she does this. No. See, you women have this idea that you're in control. And you're in control of sex. That's what you're in control of. But when it comes to relationships, men are in charge. We say when we're in a relationship, and we say when it's over. Right? We engage in it. You know what I mean? Like, men are the authority on our relationships. You women are not. Yes, you have the authority of when we can sleep with you. Sure. But you don't have the authority in relationships. Men do. Because you need men for relationships. So we have the authority. And men need women for sex. Which is why you have the authority. So you can't come on here and say, like, as if you've got the authority in relationships. You as women do not have the authority in relationships. Men do. I'm sorry. Because women are the ones who desire relationships more than men, the power lies with the men. The same as because men typically have more sexual desire than women due to testosterone, women have the authority. Like, but she is correct. If a woman sleeps with you on the first date, it shows she's not entirely serious. Not entirely serious. But that doesn't mean she isn't serious. You know, you can't treat all women the same. Some women might had such a good time with you, had a few drinks, and then slept with you, but wasn't intending to do it. So that's not the same as a woman who's going out intending to sleep on the first date. So she's talking shit. If a woman sleeps with you on the first date, right, I wouldn't say it's a good standard to set for the relationship, because then you've built the relationship on sex rather than having fun. But if she sleeps with you on the second date, that's alright, that. But there are women who would sleep with you on the first date, and it would be fine. Like, I literally said this months ago, and she's got the Chinese Whispers version of it, without sounding racist here, because I'm not saying she's Chinese here, but she's got the Chinese Whispers version of what I've said, and got it wrong. She thinks it's about the women's power. It's not. It was about men. I told men this. I told men not to sleep with women on the first date, Because if you sleep with a woman on the first date as a man, you respect her less. If I'm honest, I respect a woman less because it was too easy. It was too easy. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if it's on the second date, that's fine. I don't have any less respect for a woman for sleep with me on a second date. But on a first date, I do lack I think less of you. Not because of anything apart from you made it so easy. You literally made it so easy. Like, sometimes I could have met a woman and within 3 hours she's in my house. Like, you've made it too easy. You're not relationship material. If I can meet you and within 3 hours you be in my bedroom, then you're not my wife, are you? You're not going to be my wife, because that means any other man could meet you and within 3 hours be in your bedroom. But if I can meet a woman and she shows self-control and restraint until the moment is right, then I can believe she can control herself around other men, because she controlled herself around me. It's just fucking logic, innit? So she's got this version of that and thought, women have all the power. Women control. Boo. Fucking hell.
Turn with you. You're maybe just trying to get over someone, fun night, she finds you attractive. If she waits and makes you wait, she wants to marry you.
That's such bullshit. It doesn't mean she wants to marry you. She wants to marry you. What it means is, if you don't sleep with someone on the first date, it means you're taking the idea of a relationship more seriously than the desire to sleep with the person. It's as simple as that, alright?
Well, I can agree with that. If a girl is trying to pounce on you every opportunity she gets, the second you meet her, that's probably not her first rodeo. I'm not saying she's a bad girl, but you just got to keep your eye on those ones. And I'm going to apply that same logic to men as well, because men who are doing the same thing, they probably have met her and they've categorized her as not relationship material. So he's just trying to use her for what he can get. Because let's be honest here, any person with self-respect and morals isn't going to sleep with a stranger they've just met.
A lot of our holiday traditions this time of year are built around nostalgia, which lend themselves to little sentimental items such as ornaments with people's names or photos and other keepsakes like that. So I don't know which of you needs to hear this, but if you have a trans person in your life this holiday season, be mindful of those sentimental items and let them decide what to do. For example, my partner and I have a couple of Christmas ornaments that have our photos and my dead name on them. When we were getting out the ornaments, he picked out one of them and looked at me and just said, "What do you want to do with this?" For me, I appreciated that he won.
I can't stand when women wear their nails. Never mind when a man wears them who's pretending to be a woman. Like, you can't wear them nails and claim to be a genuine person. You can't go into a shop and buy some fake nails and then glue them to your nails and then go around claiming you're genuine and you don't lie. At least that's their real hair. Looks like their real hair anyway.
Checked in with me before just
that's good hair, to be fair.
Himself and to let me
quite wavy. I wish my hair was that
Ultimately,
good. To be fair, they've got good hair for if they were a woman, that would be quite good hair. But it could potentially be a wig. But most trans people don't have hair like that, to be fair. But that's still a man in a dress pretending to be a woman. I'm sorry, that's what it is. I refuse to acknowledge your delusions as reality.
I wanted to store it in the box. And that was that. Happy holidays, everyone.
You can have a wig, you can wear a dress, you can have stupidly long nails and keep clattering them every 2 seconds to try and tell yourself that you're a woman when you know you ain't, pal. When you go for a number 2, how does that work with nails like that? How are you wiping with them? I know that's a bit vulgar, but yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. How are you wiping with them? I don't even want to think about that, actually. There's no way. Who's that guy? They all got the same look, didn't they?
Don't raise dragons right off.
What the fuck was that?
Some help. Being drawn by the statute. That was sort of like the starting point. The question was whether it was discriminatory because it applied to both races and it wasn't, necessarily invidious or whatever. But, as I read the statute here, the case here, the court starts off by saying that Virginia is now one of 16 states which prohibit and punish marriages on the basis of racial classifications. And when you look at the structure of that law, it looks in terms of, you can't do something that is inconsistent with your own characteristics. It's sort of the same thing. So it's interesting to me that we now have this different argument, and I wonder whether Virginia could have gotten away with what they did here by just making a classification argument the way that Tennessee is in this case.
Yes, I think that's exactly right, that there is absolutely a parallel between any law that says you can't act inconsistent with a protected characteristic.
It's really hard to believe that these conversations happen in places of power. And yeah, there are people out there this stupid.
Three of the players, the entire three African Americans.
I would say there's always one who's doing stupid stuff like this, but in this case there's three. If that team and their values don't align and they don't agree with, the national anthem and all that, then why are you playing for that team then?
Hey, Kirk. My question is sort of a question/compliment. You're a very good public speaker. And I think a lot of people here might struggle with that. What I'm curious is somebody with so little education beyond high school and, just experience in the field, how are you able to so confidently just kind of word vomit, right?
Word vomit?
You said pretty much every question you've answered has been no answer. You've just kind of said what conservatives want to hear. So really all of your work is not a debate. It's just...
That's more of a statement than a question. So far, this is a statement, not a question.
Confirmation bias. So what you learn how to...
Don't do it, mate. Don't look like a donut in front of that whole schoolhouse. And...
You see this girl's face behind him? She knows he's about to get his ass handed to him by this guy. I would love to debate this guy, because I'm not like a far-right guy, but I'm not a far-left guy. I'm a centrist, right? So I could whinge at the left, I could whinge at the right, and they all think I'm the other guy, and I'm not. I'm something different, so it's funny for me. But I can also know when they're right and agree with them, both of them. So he says a lot of things that are true, and sometimes not true.
The internet, don't do it, mate.
Sorry?
You want to debate?
No, I'm good.
I'll debate you, mate. I'll fucking debate you. I'll debate you any day of the week. Although I think we'd end up having more fun and laughing than we would arguing. But I'd debate him.
Chris, where you learned...
You don't want
sure?
to debate.
Where you learned how to
I'm a high school graduate. You're in college.
So you want to stand up there and say he's just saying word vomit, and then you don't want to debate him, right?
College, man, let's debate. I vomit for a living, you said.
He's already got the gloves off.
Come on, let's debate.
No, I'm not here to debate. That's not...
You're here to just insult him and make a statement about him. But he said he had a compliment/question. But he didn't do a compliment/question. So what that shows me is this young man's mother is the sort of girl, or sister, is the sort of girl who, when they're going to insult someone or attack them, they'll try and be nice first so that it hurts more, because they think it does. So he tried to be nice to set the standard where the insult or attack is not expected, to try and make it do more damage, which he would have learned from his mother or sister. So I'm guessing single mother and a sister. No father. That's what I'm guessing here.
You're just here to insult me.
Yeah, you're a bad. Yeah, I am. Where did you learn how to public speak? Because you're.
Well, at least he admitted he was there to insult him. So I'm still waiting for this question. He didn't have a question. He just said he was a good public speaker and then insulted him. It's an insult sandwiched with a compliment. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work.
Really good at lying out of your
What have I lied about? Name one thing I lied tonight about. Name a second thing. No, name a stat I said that's wrong.
You said 11 million jobs. You said 50%.
Yes, 11 million jobs are open for blue-collar work according to Mike Rowe and according to 3 independent studies according to the Department of Labor. Name another stat I said that's wrong.
I guess my main point
No, name a third stat that I said that's wrong.
When you say a stat or you just say numbers, it's helpful usually when you're public speaking to say where you got that information. Because people who just...
He just did! He fucking just did! Oh my god!
Agree with you. Might not.
So give me no, but you get.
So this guy just wanted to stand there and insult him. Yeah, that's pretty much. That was his main objective here, wasn't it?
Some examples. Where did I lie or say a stat that's not true?
He very rarely says something that's not true. Most of the time he's right. That's why I know who he is. There's very rarely he's ever been wrong on anything he's ever said that I've ever seen. He's very similar to me. That's why I'd fucking love to debate him. It'd be so interesting.
You need to work on not doing confirmation bias.
Wait, hold on. No, but...
You need to work on not doing confirmation bias. Isn't that in itself a confirmation bias? That you want someone else to confirm your bias, and because they disagree, you want them to stop their bias.
You come up here and say, oh, how did you with a high school education learn to spew BS? Say one thing I said that was wrong, misleading, unfactual, not rooted in data. One thing.
You're doing it right now.
I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
I was just making a comment and you're spinning it. That's what you're really good at. That's why I think you're good.
No, that's what he's doing, and he's trying to project that onto him. This is what people do all the time, especially on Facebook and things. They'll do something, and then when it doesn't work, they'll project it that you try to do that, thinking that people will accept it. Like, how stupid does this young man think we all are? Does he really think that he can outsmart us just by leaning against the wall and lying to himself? Like, it's insulting. He's insulting you all.
Came up here and insulted me. I'm asking you, how have I misled this audience? And you come unprepared, like not with a single data. I thought you'd at least have like one gotcha, man. Like one number, like one thing. 11 million job openings according to Bureau of Labor Statistics that require muscular labor and require just a 6-month technical training degree. That is true.
That'd be like plumbing, electricians, plasterers, roofers, wall builders? Fucking wall builders. It's not wrong wording, just not right either.
At the apex, 15,000 people coming across the southern border every single day. I even said it's down a little bit. That is true.
A little bit. I think Donald Trump's make it down a lot, hasn't he?
What have I said that's incorrect?
What an absolute muppet. He was speechless after that. How can you queue up and then just insult someone on stage and then you make out that he's stupid, and then when he asks if you want to debate, this donut says no? I mean, this guy has got the how to make yourself look stupid in public starter pack.
Well, I have a 17-year-old trans son, and he came out when he was like 12 or 13, and
What?
It's been a long process, but he's doing really well, and
Every time I hear a child has decided they're trans at the age of like 12 or 10 or something, honestly, my heart just hurts. My literal heart hurts knowing that these people have allowed this child to suffer a lifetime of psychological and emotional and a mental trauma that has been brought on them, and they will blame the rest of the world for. It makes me sick, honestly. It makes me fucking sick. I got no problem with a trans person being trans. An adult. But sexualizing children, like if you're making a child change gender, that you're sexualizing a child. I'm sorry, you're making a whole big issue about their private parts. You're sexualizing a child. That's what people who convince children that they're trans are. They're sexualizing a child. In my view, I don't consider them any better than child offenders.
I just want to keep my right to privacy and parental freedom in terms of making choices that are best for him.
So you want your right to privacy and parental freedom. So what about my right as a parent to not allow your child to try and convince my child that trans ideology is okay? What about my right as a parent to not have trans stuff taught to my child? What about my right as a parent? If you have a right as a parent to force your child or trick your child into being trans, then I also have the right to stop you teaching my child that. That's how it works, baby. That's how it fucking works.
Has your son undergone any kind of hormonal or surgical intervention?
Parents like this, man, I don't understand how they can just... What goes through their brain?
Attention. They want attention. They're using their children as a weapon and a tool for attention. You all know how, like, some women will use their kids as a weapon to try and hurt the dad who broke up with them or divorced them or something, right? Well, there are women out there who do the same with their children. They'll use them as a tool for attention, all right? And they'll use them as something to use to get what they want, all right? They don't care about these kids' lives. They care about their dry vaginas, all right?
I don't understand. I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. I know that for sure.
You're not the bluntest either, Sam. Tell you that.
But this stuff is below me. I don't understand how these people have been given a brain and they've lived this long on the planet and they've come...
You're underestimating them, Sam. They know exactly what they're doing. They know that they're brainwashing these children with something that's going to harm them their entire life. They just don't care. They want the attention. They want people to look at them. They want people to pay attention to them. Some kids never leave some adults, have never left high school. You've literally got people in America who are 30, 40 years old going around thinking life is a popularity contest. I swear to God, there's literally people who never leave high school mentally. Never.
To the conclusion that a 12-year-old kid can come up to him and say that and go about saying that they identify as an LGTV and they're trans, all this stuff, and they just be, yeah, that's fine, no worries. How did people get to that conclusion? I don't know.
Attention seeking.
He did have to wait a long time. He went to therapy and all of that, and saw.
I think you need it, mate.
I think she does need. I think she should be in prison for what she's done to her child. To be honest, I think convincing children to mutilate their own bodies and to harm themselves with dangerous medications that will destroy their body for the rest of their life. These people should be in jail. They should be in jail. And what you're allowing is cruel. It's cruelty to children. What's going on? It's very cruel. Children didn't used to have this much exposure to adult content, and it's being used as a tool to harm them for money.
Did that a year ago.
Do you know who's most interested in this person wanting this to happen? Is the pharmaceutical company who she pays money for that medication for. You realise that company has persuaded her that this child needs it, so she thinks the child needs it and she's protecting the child. The child thinks they need it and the mother's just protecting them. But the whole thing along is just this company has tricked her into hurting her child for money.
Decided yes or no?
Yes, yeah.
And what age did that begin?
16.
Oh, man. 16.
So you're here to defend the rights of parents to transition their children?
No, parents would not be transitioning their children. I am defending the rights of parents to make the best medical decisions.
A 16-year-old's a child. It's not an adult. An 18-year-old is an adult, not a 16-year-old. 16-year-old is a child.
For their children.
So if parents aren't transitioning their children, who are?
The children are transgender and...
No, they're not. No, they're not.
The parents are...
They were made transgender by people. Nobody is born trans. Nobody is born trans. You're born the gender you were born as. To deny that is a mental illness.
Supporting them to be their true selves.
Aren't you engaging in the hormonal and surgical interventions? You're paying for them, helping your child do this?
Yep.
Yep. Fucking adverts.
That her. Yep.
Yep.
And what's the bettings that her son didn't have a lot of those views until this donut asserted them?
And what's the betting that someone asserted those views on her and she now gets the medication from them?
That's my bettings.
I mean, yes, as I would with any medical treatment for my child.
We're just wondering, because we're here talking about this case. A lot of people think that children shouldn't be able to do that until they're 18,
Nope.
given that a lot of these procedures
See? This person agrees with me. 18. Yeah, that's fine. This person thought 16. No.
are irreversible.
18.
The hormone therapy is.
They shouldn't even be allowed anyway.
I don't think 18's right either, to be honest. The human body has not finished fully developing as a woman until you're 21 and as a male until you're 25. Now, the reason it takes men longer is because the density of our bones is still being made more dense from 21 to 25. So we've stopped growing. Everything's in place. Everything's as it should be. But our bone density isn't as dense as it should be. So from 21 to 25, men's bone density goes through the roof, right? And at 25, we stop. So men finish growing at 25. Women, 21, right? So you shouldn't legally allowed to be able to transition gender as a female until you're 21 and as a male until you're 25. Because only after you've finished puberty should you be allowed to start messing with your body so that you're not affected for the rest of your life if you ever change your mind. That's what they should do. It should be illegal to change gender as a man unless you're 25 and as a female unless you're 21. For scientific reasons. For literally scientific reasons.
Even 18, I don't know, I couldn't even count to 10 when I was 18. Let alone doing...
I was a qualified computer engineer by 17, so... Although I was also an idiot, drinking cider bottles and shit on a half pipe in a skate park, I was also a computer engineer working for Apple, so... Bit different.
Getting things like that. I mean, I got my first tattoo at 18. I didn't know what I was doing.
I still don't have a single
and at least
tattoo.
That's on your skin. You know, it's you can get it lasered off and whatnot. It's just a visible thing that can't change. But these people are doing stuff that is irreversible completely.
Exactly. Which is why they need to wait until the point where it could be reversed.
A bad tattoo, you can. Eventually, for a lot of laser treatment. Like I say, I've had laser on some parts and it's a long, painful, expensive process. But eventually, it'll be cleared up. But with this, different ball game. And 18, too young.
Isn't really irreversible. His voice would remain deeper, but otherwise it would be reversible.
You can always tell some trans people just by the way they talk. Some trans people you just instantly. To be fair, right, I can tell if a person's gay quite a lot of the time. Not all the time, because there's some very butch gay people out there. But sometimes, literally, I'll be walking through a shop and I'll hear someone talk, instantly know they're gay. Just from the way they talk. Because it'll be a male who's talking more female-like than man-like. Oh my god. So I'll instantly know they're gay. Or trans. Instantly. It's like, gaydar. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. There they are. I'm not homophobic. I can just hear when someone's gay. Because men talk in a certain way. And some gay men, I mean, only some, not all gay men. Some gay men speak in a very, what we call, camp way. Like, that sort of shit, right? So if you ever hear that, right, and it's not like a one-off. Like I could sound camp maybe once in a blue moon, or anyone can sound camp once in a blue moon. But if someone is literally camp from start to end of sentence, gay, 100% gay, every time gay. I've never been wrong. It's never been wrong. Just listen to the way people talk, and you can tell who and what they are. All right. You don't actually need to hear what you don't actually need to listen to the words, just the way they talk.
And I honestly thought that would be the case with us too, that we would wait. But after years of therapy and all of that, we decided to go forward. So that's the whole point. Is it's a decision that parents make with doctors and therapists.
It's a decision parents make with doctors. Yes, that's what you did. You, as a parent and the doctor, decided to do human experimentation on your child, claim it was medical treatment, in the ideology that they were changing gender from male to female, probably, or the other way around, so that the medical company who pays that doctor's wages can get loads of money from pills, and the doctor can get loads of money from you paying for those pills. And you fell for it, and you've allowed your child to be tortured mentally, psychologically, emotionally, technically, probably physically, and you think it's a good thing, and you're helping them. And this is exactly the sort of shit that goes on every fucking day on planet Earth. You've got evil, awful human beings who will torture children, other people like women and men, and think they're helping them. Like the Christians who used to burn women alive, who were witches, and they thought they were helping society. Ooh. Just because the woman was better at maths than them. Fucking.
In the best interest of the child. So
Best interest of the child, yeah? Well,
the best interest of that child would have been to tell the doctor to go fuck themselves and never ever encourage trans ideology into that child, and let them play games, let them play outside with their friends, ride bikes, play on Fortnite, you know, have their first kiss, fall over, scrape their knee, you know, these sorts of things. You should have let them be a child. Instead, you've dragged them into human experimentation, and you think you're helping them because you're brainwashed. You're a brainwashed, irresponsible, negligent parent who realistically has harmed their child more than anyone else in their life because you've allowed this to happen to them. The doctors could have never done this to your child without you doing this to them, and I'm sorry, but it is cruelty to her child what she's done. It is child cruelty. That poor bloody child.
Oh, let's be honest here. Like I said earlier, her son wouldn't be going through what he's going through if the parents actually did their job and just say, look, this game you're playing, it's just a game. It ain't real. You can walk around in high heels and mess around like most kids do, but you're a boy. That's what you are. Parents don't do that anymore.
decided after the years of therapy that it was fine to go ahead and not necessarily have to wait to
Where's
18,
the
but
father
initially,
at?
That was my feeling too.
So if your son comes to you in 20 years and is like, Mom, why?
This is the thing, Sam. I honestly think that some women do this to hurt the fathers. So there's some women out there who intentionally try and change the child to be trans so that it upsets or annoys the father. And then they also used to do that with homosexuality as well. So there are some mothers out there who have intentionally tried to make their child gay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with gay people. You're not made gay either, you know. Most people are born gay. But there are women out there who have tried to convince their own children that they're homosexual so that they could use them as a tool to get attention from other people, to try and use that attention to get what they want. There are women out there who use children as weapons. And you just need to understand, not all women are lovely mothers who nurture and protect children. Not all of them are. Some of them are evil, horrible people who use children as tools to get what they want. They will happily sacrifice a child to a predator to get a position of power and a lot of money. Like, the Kardashians' mother, like, did the porn videos with them and all that sort of shit for money. Like, imagine telling your child to do a porn video so that you could get rich. There are evil women out there, people, who are dangerous to children. They are dangerous. This woman is a danger to her own child. Never mind anyone else's.
Did you let me do this? I wasn't at the age of consent yet. What are you going to tell him?
I'm going to tell them we made the best decision that we could at the time, and that we didn't take it lightly, and that.
What if he's like?
So she's going to take no responsibility for convincing her child to allow themselves to be experimented on and psychologically tortured by pharmaceutical companies for profit. She's going to take no responsibility for that. These sorts of women should be in jail. Like, she should be in jail for that. If you convince something of a child of something that they then get mutilated for, you were like, well, I did what was best. Did what was best at the time. Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions. Fucking Adolf Hitler thought he was doing a good job. He didn't think he was some evil dictator killing millions of innocent people. He thought he was doing a good job. He thought he had good intentions for himself and Germany, but nobody else. But he had good intentions for Germany. Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with good intentions. So you can't sit here and say this after you've just caused a child to have their genitals chopped off, can you?
Yet. What are you going to tell him?
I'm going to tell them we made the best decision that we could at the time, and that we didn't take it lightly, and that.
What if he's like, I
didn't take it lightly.
I don't have breasts. I can't breastfeed my children any day.
Yeah.
Like, I realize I'm actually a woman, and now I'm never going to be able to breastfeed my kids.
I don't know. I bottle fed and.
I don't know. I bottle fed. So you didn't give your child the best start in life that you should have. I'm not saying all women have to breastfeed. Some women can't. But, like, breastfeeding is what gives the child the best start in life. So she didn't give her child the best start in life. And then she convinced them to be trans. She sounds like one of these typical mothers who thinks they're a great mother, but they're actually terrible. Actually terrible.
Breastfed, and I think that he'll be okay. That's kind of the least.
Wait, I'm confused. Did she have a daughter or a son? I'm getting lost here.
My worries at this point.
So it's like not that big of a deal to you?
No, it's a huge deal. That's why it took a long time to make the decision. So you have to weigh their mental health and make the best decisions you can, like you would do with any decision for your child.
I remember when I was a kid and I was in Spain. I must have been about 7 or 8 years old and used to walk around the shops, and I went in there and I remember you know those tattoos you could get from like a little vending machine, like the little ones you just stick on with water and then you peel it off and then it's there. I remember putting one on my neck because I thought it looked really cool, and I was like, Mum, I want to go and get this tattoo, and she laughed, and you know, obviously I would have skipped a few birthdays even if I went walking to that tattoo parlor, but let alone getting it. But can you imagine if she was like this donut and said, yeah, son, you go ahead and do that. You go ahead and do that. Can you imagine that?
That's what my parents did. When they found out I was smoking, they were like, oh, well, we smoke, so we can't really say anything to stop you. That was their attitude. And then when they found out I was taking drugs at a young age, although it was just weed, you know, I wasn't some heroin addict. I've never tried anything like that. They were like, oh, well, you're old enough to make your own decisions now. But now they go around using it against me. But, you know, when they found out, they didn't care. They didn't care. Yeah, unfortunately, the parents who care the least are sometimes the most dangerous ones.
That's the same with these Muppets.
And at 12, how did your child even know about gender concepts?
Yep. Through her.
Actually, it was a gradual thing. At first, at 12, he just was questioning if he was attracted to women or men. So it wasn't like he came at 12 and said,
12? Wow.
Transgender. That's how the conversation started. And
Well, how do you know what transgender was and all that? Because kids don't know what that is.
Schools' ideology, schools and society being idiots.
it developed over the years. So.
Do you start the conversation?
I did not.
Yeah, you did.
I have a 12-year-old brother. I don't think he's ever talked to me about who he's attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he brought it up to me, so.
No, he didn't. This woman is insane.
Who you're attracted to has nothing to do with trans. Who you're attracted to is being gay or straight. It has nothing to do with trans ideology. That's what they just said there, look.
Transgender was and all that. Because kids don't know what that is.
It developed over the years. So.
Do you start the conversation?
I did not.
Yeah, you did.
I have a 12-year-old brother. I don't think he's ever talked to me about who he's attracted to.
Yeah.
Who they're attracted to is not trans. That's gay or straight. Fucking Americans, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he brought it up to me, so.
No, he didn't. This woman is insane, and everything she's saying is just pure insanity. I know a lot of you guys might not be religious, but I think the end times are coming. I think we're in the end times.
The end of days. Yes, we are in the end of days. The end of days are here. But it's not the end of life. It's just the end of the old ways. The way things used to be. And this is our last hurrah to try and stand up for it. And thankfully, it's come about at exactly the right time as the internet. So we just need to make sure that the human race always has a record for how we really were before we became corrupted.
Because all this stuff is just evil, man. It really is. If you guys are feeling lost in life, and some of you guys might click off this video and get angry at me for saying this, but I don't really care. For those who are feeling lost and you feel like the world is just becoming this place, like this insanity, what we see, guys, pick up the Bible and read it. Read the gospel.
Don't do that. Christianity has lost its way. It's a satanic death cult where you preach lies about Jesus, written by the very people who killed him, the Romans. If you really want to follow what Jesus preached, believed, and taught, read what he wrote in the Hebrew scripture and then follow them beliefs. Don't accept what his killers have wrote about him, because they've changed everything he wrote everywhere. And the Bible is a corruption of all the things about Jesus. It's a bunch of lies about Jesus. Christianity is a satanic death cult where they go around wearing a necklace of the device used to kill Jesus and preach the lies his killers say about him, or said about him, the Romans. They don't preach what Jesus actually believed, preached, and taught. Christianity is not what it used to be. Christians 2,000 years ago were the only real Christians. Any Christian since like 100 AD, they're not really a Christian, are they? Because they followed the lies written by those who killed him, the Romans, not what he really preached, believed, and taught, which was Judaism. So, sorry, Sam, but I didn't even know Sam was a Bible basher. But it doesn't surprise me. But at the end of the day, this is what happens. In times of desperation, and when you've got no hope, people turn to the most unlikely things. And I would highly recommend agnostic atheism over Christianity. Don't pick up the Bible and read a 2,000-year-old book. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you in the slightest. That's the worst piece of advice I've ever heard Sam give, and I'm going to unsubscribe for that.
Pick up the cross and follow it. That is my...
No, don't pick up the device that was used to kill Jesus and carry it round. Trying to think you represent him and preach the lies his killers wrote about him. Sam is clearly now a lost sheep. I didn't know this, but now he's clearly a lost sheep. A lost sheep. Goodbye, Sam. Your videos were good, man. But, Christians and Muslims are the same. Yous have done nothing but rape and attack children for 2,000 years and forced your bullshit down everyone's throat. And what Islam and Christianity is a corrupted form of Judaism. And Judaism is what Jesus believed, preached, and taught. So if you really wanted to follow what Jesus thought and believed, you would be Jewish. And you fucking ain't. You're following the words of his killers, the Romans, and suggesting people wear the device that was used to kill him while they go around preaching their lies. You, sir, are a heretic. You are exactly what they are talking about in Revelation 3:9, Sam. Those who claim to follow Jewish teachings but do not. The synagogue of Satan. Christians, Christianity. That is you. That is you, Sam. You are Revelation 3:9. You. I'm sorry, mate, but that's what it is. You think you're following the teachings of a Jewish man, Jesus, and you're not. You're lying. You are Revelation 3:9. You are exactly what Jesus foretold would happen with his message and how it would be used by those who killed him to lie about him and control people. And lo and behold, here you are doing exactly that. I'll watch the end of the video. It's only got a few minutes left. Seconds. And then I'm unsubscribing. That's me and Sam done. I can't tolerate these lost Christians, if I'm honest. They're no different to me than an Islamic terrorist. They came to my country in their thousands and killed my people, the British people, and forced their religion down our necks when we were pagans. This was a pagan land. The Celtic Empire was pagan. The Welsh, the Scottish, the Irish, the English. We were pagans. We were not fucking Christians, alright? We worship nature. That's pantheism, baby. And what happened is, over time, that got corrupted and humanized and came up with the idea of God, where the very word God is actually 1,600 years old, and it comes from Germanic pagan tribes who used to use the words for nature to invoke and tribute. So the word God, actually the word God is 1,600 years old and comes from Germanic words for invoke and tribute. And they would invoke nature with tribute because they were pantheists. Alright? You are lost sheep. You are literally lost sheep following those people who killed Jesus, the Romans, thinking you are following him. And you're lost. You're fucking lost, Sam. May God help you.
Best advice to you guys. I tried everything to try and put my life together. There's a lot of things I've struggled with and whatnot. And I ain't going to get deep in that, but...
I feel bad now. He's turned to religion out of desperation. And this is what happens to a lot of people. They turn to religion out of desperation. And he's turned to the very people who have killed Jesus and lie about him every fucking day. And literally go around wearing the device they used to kill him every day while they lie about him and think that was the right choice. It makes me so sad that after 2,000 years, people still side with the people who killed Jesus, thinking they're siding with Jesus. Man, these are all lost. Lost sheep.
Following the gospel and following Christ was the best thing I ever did. And that's how we can counter this insanity.
He thinks he's following Christ. He's not following Christ. There's no such thing as a Christian who's following Christ. Because if you really followed Christ and what he preached, taught and believed, you would be Jewish, alright?
But, guys, wow. I hope you enjoyed this one.
The only real Christians were the first 12 disciples. Everyone else, not Christian. Everyone who didn't actually know Jesus personally, not a Christian. Because what you're doing is preaching the lies of the Romans. Jesus was Jewish. not Christian. Christianity was invented after he died by the people who killed him, the Romans, and they used it as a tool to control the population. They've lied about Jesus for 2,000 years, and you, Sam, are a heretic and blasphemer of Jesus. I'm sorry, but you are, mate. And I'm unsubscribing. But I wish you well, and I hope one day you stop supporting the people who killed Jesus and instead support Jesus himself, not those who killed him, which is Christianity. Christianity is the satanic death cult, Revelation 3:9, synagogue of Satan, those who claim to follow Jewish teachings but don't. Jesus was Jewish. He preached and taught Jewish things and Judaism. Christianity claims to represent Jesus and follow Jesus, but doesn't follow those teachings and beliefs Jesus used to teach and believe. So, Christianity is heresy against Jesus. It's blasphemy against Jesus. I'm sorry, it is. It is evil Satanism. It's a death cult. It's a fucking death cult.
And I will see you in the next one.
You won't, Sam. You won't. We're done. I wish I'd not watched the end of this video now. Now I think less of him. Poor guy, he's lost. See you later, Sam.